well, damn, that Epstein list disappeared faster than Ted Cruz during a natural disaster. I wonder if David Copperfield's relieved it's gone or jealous that even he can't make something magically disappear that fast. And I wonder if this is it. I wonder if this will be the time that it clicks. Will the apparently non-existent Epstein files finally be the straw that breaks MAGA's brain? Remember how Epstein didn't kill himself, but now your boy's official report is that he did? Will this be the thing that finally deprograms you Elmer's Dunkin' colored wax stick snackers from your little fucking cult? No, let's be real. If y'all didn't have cognitive dissonance, you'd have no cognitive functions whatsoever. So I'm sure after a short reset period where Fox figures out what to tell you to believe next, you'll be right back to chugging the fascist Flavor Aid like a freshman at the worst frat party ever. But in the meantime, it's nice to see y'all having those little meltdowns where there's that little glimmer of almost independent thought. Grab that glimmer, hold on to it tight like that puppy your parents should have never gotten you. It's okay to be angry about this. You should be angry about this. They lied to you. You can be mad about that. I mean, your brain has to have fewer ridges than a bowling ball to have ever believed it in the first place, but they lied to you, and you should be angry about it. You know that there's an Epstein client list. Pam Bondi, Trump's attorney general, told you it was on her desk. We've known for years there was one. There was never even a discussion, and they were happy to admit it to manipulate you. But they were never going to release it because Trump is all over it. I mean, just take a moment of honest thought and think about it. It's obvious, isn't it? Trump and Epstein have enough pictures together to fill every one of Grandma's gigantic photo albums. Trump's admitted, bragged even, about walking into dressing rooms full of underage girls. Trump raved about how Epstein, like himself, liked their girls on the younger side. Epstein recruited girls at Mar-a-Lago. Trump had this to say about Maxwell during the Maxwell trial.
Just wish her well, frankly. I've met her numerous times over the years, especially since I lived in Palm Beach, and I guess they lived in Palm Beach. But I wish her well, whatever it is.
Like, if Trump's past touched Epstein anymore, you'd think it was his own daughter. And remember, Trump was asked before the election about if he would release the Epstein files in an interview, and he said this.
Would you declassify the 9/11 files?
Yeah.
Would you declassify JFK files?
Yeah.
Would you declassify the Epstein files?
Yeah, I would.
All right.
I guess I would. I think that less so because, you don't know it. You don't want to affect people's lives if it's phony stuff in there, because there's a lot of phony stuff with that whole world. But I think I would, or at least
Do you think that would restore trust? Help restore trust?
Yeah, I don't know about Epstein so much as I do the others.
I mean, come on. If there was ever a tell me you're on this list without telling me you're on this list comment, that was it. That man is on that list so many times, it might as well be the Mar-a-Lago golf course, so there is zero way Trump was ever going to fucking release it. You know what happened? Why they strung you along this long? They're trying their damnedest to figure out how they could redact it enough to make it convincingly look like Trump wasn't on it. But because Trump is so deeply involved in every aspect of it, they couldn't pull it off because the connections would still be there even if he sharpied over a bunch of shit. So finally, they just decided to give up and try to convince you dumb motherfuckers that there's just no list whatsoever. And because you all have willingly believed every blatant lie they've told you to this point, no matter how ridiculous, they expect you to believe this one too. And you guys are realizing that. You see it right now. I know, like everything else about you guys, that glimmer is dim, but don't let it die. Foster it, nurture it, let it guide you back into the light. Let that light grow. Let it help you come to the realization that if he has lied to you so blatantly about this for so long, what else has he lied to you about? And you'll start to realize that the answer is everything. He said he'd veto any bill that cuts Medicaid, and now he's signing a bill that's going to cut Medicaid by almost $1 trillion. He said he was going to lower your taxes, and now your taxes will be going up, and not just your federal income taxes, but your property taxes too, because he cut all the programs that will now need to be offset by those. He said he'd end the war in Ukraine before his inauguration, and that rages on. He said no new wars, and then he goes and bombs Iran. He said he'd bring down prices, and they continue to rise. He said he'd make healthcare more affordable, and then he removes a cap on insulin and prescription drugs. And as Texas, arguably the state that supports him the most, floods, he gulfs. And if he cares that little about suffering Texans who have given him the utmost devotion, how much do you think he cares about you? And now, after years of promising you the Epstein list, he has lied to you and says it doesn't exist. And it's okay to be mad. You should be mad. You were duped. You were lied to. You were manipulated. You were taken advantage of. Remember, at the end of the day, even though he convinced you otherwise for so long, he's just a rich, elitist asshole and a politician who is corrupt and taking advantage of hardworking Americans. And all of these years that you've spent fantasizing about standing up to corrupt and tyrannical governments, well, here is your chance, and there's never been one more deserving of your ire. So bust out those gallows you built for Pence on January 6th, march back to the Capitol, Capitol for another peaceful protest, smear some shit on the walls, do a patriotism. Or, don't. Because we all know you won't. Because at the end of the day, you're cowards who need the safe space of your little cult. And as soon as that True Social tweet comes out to tell you what to believe so you can start reconciling it in that simple, soft, baked potato you call a brain, you'll go right back to ignoring and justifying these lies and betrayals by dear leader like you have every single time before. But until then, we're all happy that you can start to join us in reality, even if it is for just a moment. And while we have you here, we want to remind you that while tragically 700,000 men a year kill themselves, Epstein did not.